What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and things are heating up as we have just received confirmation that there will be stimulus or there will be no infrastructure. Guys, this is your stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now take a look, we're seeing articles coming out like this. Pelosi goes all in with domestic agenda on the line, and what we're hearing is she is saying this is all going to be happening next week. Now, I reported this to you yesterday as it came out as breaking news. Take a look, you guys. Pelosi, bipartisan infrastructure vote will happen on Monday. She said that infrastructure bill, it will go to the floor for a vote on Monday, September 27, 2021. As we heard Kyrsten Sinema say, Pelosi, if you don't keep your word, if you lie about bringing that infrastructure bill to the floor, I will wreck stimulus when it comes to the Senate. She also said, if that bill fails in the House on Monday, I will wreck stimulus. But you guys, take a look here. Pelosi also said that reconciliation, the stimulus bill, will be ready next week as well, but she did not specify Monday. And Kyrsten Sinema has said it needs to happen on Monday. But you guys, what we're hearing though, I've got two video clips for you we're going to be watching in this video, and that is progressives are coming out and they're reassuring us there will be stimulus, and there will be stimulus first before infrastructure, and if there is not, they are all ready to vote down that infrastructure bill this upcoming Monday, September 27th, 2021. Take a look, you guys. Jumping down to the article, it says, and we're going to be hearing from this individual, Washington State Representative Pramila Jayapal, the leader of the Congress Progressive Caucus. She is the leader of the progressives in the House of Representatives. She told CNN that at least 50 members will vote to sink the infrastructure bill if it goes forward on Monday and it goes before stimulus. She added that taking some steps to move ahead on the bill to greatly expand the social safety net plan is, quote, not enough. And she said, I don't think that the speaker is going to be bringing to the floor a bill to fail. What we need is to take the temperature down a little bit. The vote is going to drive up tensions, not drive down tensions. But moderate Democrats met with House Democratic leader, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi's office on Friday afternoon, and afterward they said that they expect to vote on the Senate's infrastructure bill this Monday. So you guys, we're hearing this is all going to be going down this Monday, and we're hearing that if infrastructure comes up to the floor, that it's going to get taken down by progressives. And here's the thing, could stimulus come before it? Well, we're hearing not a chance. They're saying there's no way they think they're going to have stimulus ready for a vote. But you guys, we will see. I will keep you up to date, but I'm going to be sharing with you this video footage so you can hear it for yourself. And in this second one that I got, you're going to hear both of these interviews. They're going to sound very similar with what the progressives are saying. They are unified, the progressives. But in the second one, you're going to hear them say some accusations against moderate Democrats. Senator Joe Manchin, they're going to say he's saying he's concerned about debt and inflation. But this bill is completely paid for. This is a zero net bill. And they said the real reason why Senator Joe Manchin might not be on board is because they said they believe he's soliciting some special interest, you guys. Man, accusations coming out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in so you can hear it for yourself. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you appreciate these updates, keeping you up to date on everything that's unfolding, don't forget to take a second to smash that like button. I would appreciate it. It helps out a ton. Just lets the YouTube algorithm know that you think I'm doing a good job. And in turn, they're going to continue to promote my videos and my channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Also, leave your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all this as we are approaching that deadline. And share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. Also, don't forget, if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, come join the viewing community, come join the Ram fam. I'll keep you up to date on everything that's going on so that way you know what's happening. Stimulus, Congress, the economy, unemployment, anything having to do with money. And if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, which is by far the best way to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer. I get a lot of them here on YouTube, and we get those scammers that take my picture and they claim they're Steve Ram and they say, oh, contact my assistant on WhatsApp, and then they ask for your personal information or they ask you to donate money. You guys, I don't have an assistant, I don't have a WhatsApp, and I don't ask for you to randomly donate me money, okay? Contact me on Instagram. I go through all my own DMs, and I'll do my best to respond to you. Give me a little time because I get a lot, but I'll do my best to get you any answers to any questions that you got. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in, and let's start off with some video footage from Pramila Jayapal on what's going to be unfolding with infrastructure and stimulus.
I want to turn now to one of the key players in these negotiations, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. She's the chair of the House Progressive Caucus. And Congresswoman, we all learned in the last couple of hours from Speaker Pelosi that there will be, she says, a reconciliation vote next week. We're going to see a markup this weekend. I know you'll be working long hours. So is a promise of a reconciliation vote enough to get progressives to a yes on the bipartisan infrastructure bill first?
Hi, Garrett. It's great to see you. No, that won't be enough, but we really do support Pelosi's, the Speaker's efforts to move the reconciliation bill along, just because there are some final pieces that need to be put together in order to say this is the vision that we have for the reconciliation bill, for the Build Back Better Act. So I'm looking forward to going into budget markup. The discussions are continuing, both behind the scenes, privately, with the White House, with the Senate, with the House, with some of us intra-chamber conversations. And we are going to get both these bills done. That is my firm belief. That is what I said to the president the other day. The progressives, frankly, have had the president's back from the very beginning. This is the Build Back Better agenda that the president laid out to Congress many, many months ago, back in February. And we have been saying we're not leaving one part of the agenda behind and giving up on the idea of childcare, paid leave, community college, health care. These are things that people will feel immediately, along with making sure that we address immigration and that we address climate change. These are critical priorities for the Democratic agenda. So we will get the reconciliation bill as close as we can, but the conversations obviously have to be with the Senate. There's no point in just saying the House will pass it. We've always said we need to pre-conference it.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, what does that effort look like? I was struck by the fact that these White House meetings this week, you had the progressives in one meeting, the moderates in another meeting. When are you and Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema going to sit down in a room together and have this conversation directly?
Well, I'm very happy to do that. And actually, there have been the beginnings of that starting to happen. So I think, let's
well, what does that mean? What are the beginnings of those conversations? Is somebody sending somebody an Outlook invite here, or what's going on?
Yeah, we've gotten requests to have those meetings. So we're happy to do that, and we'll get scheduled very soon. So, my thing is that we've got to understand the bipartisan infrastructure negotiations. Remember when they were supposed to be done 1 week, and then that week stretched to another week, and then another week?
Oh, yes.
And remember it really well, Garrett. You were there every step of the way. But the reality is we just need a little bit more time. I don't think we need a lot of time, but we do need a little bit more time, and we need the urgency. And so there's no point in, Monday is an arbitrary date. It could be moved easily, because the reality is the bill coming up and not having the votes is not something that the Speaker will be willing to do, and we don't have the votes for it. So let's just finish. Let's remember we're all part of the same team. This is the president's Democratic agenda, and we're all Democrats. So let's just finish this, get the reconciliation bill done, as was agreed upon in the Senate. When those senators voted for the bipartisan infrastructure bill, they did so on the condition that this exact thing that we're saying right now is what happens. The reconciliation bill passes, and then we'll be happy to vote for the infrastructure bill.
I've noticed that you and Bernie Sanders, who is obviously the progressive kind of championing this on the Senate side, have taken slightly different tones in how you talk about what's going on with the reconciliation bill. You keep talking about wanting to continue to negotiate. I don't have to tell you, you're not going to be able to negotiate up from $3.5 trillion. It seems to me that any further negotiations probably mean this bill in some ways gets smaller. I understand there's no priority you want to see let go. And I noted that you told Andrea Mitchell the idea of maybe sort of changing the time frame for some of these programs is perhaps where you see potential movement here. Can you talk to me about what it looks like if in that meeting with Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, the price tag has to come down for them to be on board? Do you see that by adjusting the time frame of you want to get all these programs into action, but maybe some of them are for 6 years, not 10? Or is that how you see this progressing?
Well, when I say I want to keep negotiating, it means that we have put on the table what our vision is. And what the president said the other day, that he asked the group that came in to the White House before us to give him, was, what is it you're for? We've heard a lot about what people are against. But what I want to know is, okay, if you don't like something in the bill, what is it? Is it childcare? Is it healthcare? What is it that you want to take out? Because the number is sort of arbitrary. In fact, Garrett, I think I said this to you the other day. This is a $0 bill. I heard the president say this today, right, because I made it clear to him, I thought we needed to start talking about the fact that this is all paid for with taxes on the wealthiest individuals and the largest corporations paying their fair share. It's a $0 bill. So the question is not what is the price tag at the end of the day. The question is, what do you want to do? And we put forward our vision. So if there's something you don't like, tell me what it is. I want to hear. And that's what, I think these conversations need to be about.
So there you have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And now let's hear from House Representative Mark Buchanan. He's going to be a progressive, and he's going to have a very similar message to what we just heard from Pramila Jayapal. And you guys, this is also where we're going to be hearing some accusations on Manchin. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.
Here now to talk about all this, Democratic Congressman Mark Buchanan of Wisconsin. He's part of the House Progressive Caucus. He's going to meet with President Biden in the next hour. Congressman, thanks so much for being here. If the bipartisan infrastructure bill comes up on Monday and the larger budget deal has not already passed, will you vote no to kill the infrastructure bill?
Well, thanks for having me, Jake. I think as we've said all along in the House, these two bills are going to move together. So I don't anticipate there'll be a vote that's set up for failure, but I know there's myself and 50 members who would vote no if we can't get the entire Biden agenda done. It's really important that we do that, and I think that's what we're working towards.
You know that House Speaker Pelosi supports passing the $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation deal, so what does it matter if infrastructure passes first? I mean, that does have bipartisan support.
Yeah, I think the problem is there's a few folks in the Senate who have been a little bit less clear that they're committed to seeing the bigger bill get done. And these are twin bills, but much like the movie Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, we look at one bill as a little bigger. We want to make sure it gets done. And I think the best way to ensure that is to do exactly like Speaker Pelosi said, was we were going to vote on these two bills together. So we're really standing behind the president and getting his agenda done. And we hope that everyone will join us so we can get these two bills done together, as we've said for months.
Is there anything that President Biden could say to you or offer to you that would convince you that it would be okay to let the infrastructure bill pass first?
Yeah, my guess is he's really working on the folks that are maybe more hesitant to get this done. I mean, we completely have his back. We've already gone from his request of $6 trillion, compromised down to $3.5 trillion, and I don't think that you can go much farther without making sure that we want to make sure people get child care, universal child care. We want to make sure that we have community college available for everyone. We want that tax break for families via the child tax credit. We want to make sure that people have paid leave and that Medicare is expanded, just like the president does. And the best way to ensure all of those things happen is to take both these bills up together. It'll create millions of jobs, and that's ultimately what the president wants. That's what we want. And I think, it really will happen. It's just a matter of a few people are just going to have to, I think, come around to the fact that everything that's in these packages is good for their constituents. They need to be here on behalf of their constituents, not the special interests here in Washington.
So to play devil's advocate for a second, you are a progressive from a safe district in Wisconsin. Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema are moderates, and they're from states where a Republican is just as likely to be elected as a Democrat, more so in West Virginia for Manchin, and they just don't share the same views of this budget bill that you do and that progressives do. From their point of view, you're forcing them to do something that they don't think is right for the country, and you're holding a hostage in something that the interest that has bipartisan support.
Actually, I would say that the president's proposal is exactly what their districts need. I don't think there's anyone in Arizona or West Virginia that doesn't need child care to be possible, that doesn't need a tax break for average working people who have children, who doesn't need an expansion of Medicare. So all those things are going to benefit their constituents. I think the problem is here in Washington, a lot of special interests don't want to pay their fair share to get these things done, and they get in the ear of some members. And we just have to remind people who elected them and who they serve. And if we do that, I guarantee Joe Biden is doing the right thing for the country. We're having his back on getting those things done, and they too can make sure their constituents benefit from these very proposals.
So you don't think it's that Senator Manchin or Senator Sinema or Congressman Gottheimer, you don't think that It's that they have issues with all the spending and the deficits and some of the other items in the $3.5 trillion bill. You think it's that special interests are telling them what to do?
Well, there are no deficits in these bills. It's completely paid for, right, by people who make more than $400,000 a year and by corporations that either don't pay taxes or hide their money overseas. So clearly, those are the interests that are somewhat concerned in trying to get to members. And we hear it as well in our district. There's some folks, those special interests, are talking out loud. But for the average person, they're going to see their costs lowered. They're going to get a tax break. You're going to have millions of jobs created, many that are tackling climate change, and it is paid for. So there's not a deficit to be worried about if you're one of those people. You should be worried about whether or not you're delivering those very benefits to the people in your districts, or whether big pharma and other special interests are going to win. I would err on the side of my constituents if I was them.
Have you talked to any of the leading moderates in the House, like Josh Gottheimer from New Jersey, to try to find a compromise, or to tell him that you think he's under the control of special interests?
Yeah, I think they just have to take a look at what they're hearing in their district. I can assure you what they're hearing is people in their district who want these very things. And I think if they actually look at the reasons they came to Washington, they'll come around to this. But don't forget, Monday is a very arbitrary date. If it takes another week, even another 2 weeks to get this done right, we're all working together. I don't think this is a battle, again, among moderates and progressives. This is a battle to make sure that we get the president's agenda done. It's a good agenda. The American people are going to benefit from this, and it will be paid for. It's just those special interests are the only people that are in the way of getting this done, and we're going to defeat the special interests.
Democratic Congressman Mark Pocan of Wisconsin, thanks so much for your time today. I hope you have a nice meeting with President Biden.
So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. A lot unfolding right now as we speak in Congress to try to get infrastructure and stimulus done. Now, in addition to that, we also could be looking at a potential government shutdown, and we could be potentially looking at a debt ceiling crisis, as we could be defaulting on the U.S. debt. So we've got 4 issues that we're trying to resolve here. I'll keep you up to date as more information rolls out. There's going to be a lot unfolding here in the next couple days, and I will keep you up to speed, you guys. But with that being said, thank you so much for joining me, as always, here on the channel. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, smash that like button. Just takes a second. Helps me out a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments. Share this out. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell. If you got any specific questions you want me to answer, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. And remember, regular uploads Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and occasionally on weekends as well as news breaks. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. Have a great weekend. This is Steve.